Hello, welcome to Spanish Fork Rotary Club. We're glad to have you all here to join us. We have a special visitor here from the Mill Creek Club, Jane Barnett. She is one of the district conference chairs, or maybe the district conference chair.
I'm the chair, but I'm part of the committee. So
okay.
That's perfect.
We're so glad to have her here. She's got a short announcement to get us excited about the district conference.
Thank you for letting me come. I have been involved in helping plan the district conference this year, and it's been exciting. And I don't know if any of you have been to a district conference. I've been to two, and they're always really exciting and get you excited about Rotary again and pump you up about wanting to get involved. And it's the first one we've been able to have in 2 years, so we're ready to have one live, right? Anyway, so our theme this year is called is connecting today's and tomorrow's leaders. So we're hoping to really draw in young professionals this year by teaming up with the University of Utah Professional Education. We'll be offering some really great breakout sessions, and we'll get to those on a later slide. But as well as just current Rotary members. Just inviting your friends and family and young professionals that you know to join us to learn more about Rotary, because we need to get them excited. Our venue this year is the Utah Cultural Celebration Center. It's in West Valley, right off of 3300 South, so it's really easy access if you're familiar with kind of just west of the freeway. So it's a really nice venue, in and outdoor spaces, good breakout session rooms. Just a really nice facility. So anyway, we'll start the event off on Thursday night with our foundation dinner. And it's all about celebrating the foundation, the Rotary Foundation, and all the good it does across the globe, right? We're all familiar with that. And our speaker for that night is Ken Howell. He is he's the Big West Rotary Foundation coordinator. So we're lucky to have him. And in addition to the fee for the conference is $160, and that includes everything except the foundation dinner, which is an additional $50. So, and then Vicki Pullitz, she's our RI Big West director. She'll kick off the conference Friday morning breakfast as our speaker there. Our House of Friendship this year is basically featuring clubs from across the state and projects they've done in service, in public image, and collaborative efforts with other clubs that will help you in developing things for your own club. So that's a really fun thing to visit, and they'll just have displays and all their information that you can wander through at your leisure. We'll also include youth programs, have some breakout sessions there. For instance, Rotaract to Rotary, so just to keep the younger people interested after they age out of Rotaract and get into Rotary. And then we also have like a Rotary 101 session just to teach the people who aren't in Rotary attending more about Rotary. And then Saturday afternoon, we have 3 service projects we'll be featuring. The first one is we're teaming with the Veterans Hospital in Salt Lake City in putting packages together for veterans who are entering their facilities or who are in need. So we'll be collaborating with them. We're also teaming with Cedar City Club for food insecurities with one of their local pantries. We'll be asking people to put bags together or make a monetary money donation. And then the third one is domestic violence, and we're teaming with the Ogden Rotary Club to help a shelter there with some welcome kits for women and children escaping domestic violence. So those are some great projects that will be on Saturday afternoon. So as I mentioned, we've teamed up with the University of Utah for some leadership and professional development programming. We have some great breakout sessions such as building teams of trust, collaboration and results, managing generational diversity, discovering and addressing implicit bias, conflict resolution, and more. So we're hoping, as I mentioned, that this will be a membership event, that we can inspire some young professionals once they come to In addition, getting the professional development that they're going to be receiving through this, they'll get a digital certificate of attendance, but really get them excited about Rotary, because I know when I joined Rotary, I didn't really understand all of it, and I'm still learning because it's been 5 years, but there's a lot to know, and I just think people, they're like, oh, well, why would I pay to be part of something to do service? Well, it's much more than that, and I think we know that. So that's our hopes with that, and they will get a digital certificate. So it's a great resume builder, great opportunity to network with and meet some mentors and just learn about Rotary. So here's the things to do as soon as possible. Just decide about your sponsorship, money per potential new member. Ask young colleagues, friends, neighbors, and families members. Register at utahrotary.org. So we hope that you'll come. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jane. Thanks for coming down to visit us down south here, too. All right, so now we'll get on to our main speaker. We've got Nick Porter here from Spanish Fork City. He's the information officer, is that right, for the city? And Chris Child invited him, but Nick was telling me, Chris told him just speak about whatever he wants. So maybe we'll hear about baseball, maybe we'll hear about some other things. So
That's right.
Turn the time over to Nick. Thank you.
So we were going to talk about the Braves and how they're going to repeat World Series champions. And then they signed Matt Olson and not going to sign Freddie Freeman. And so now we've got some issues. So we'll see. We have a season now. That finally got resolved. We're just less 16 games or so. So there's that at least. How many of you, Pete told me, he said, ask lots of questions and walk in front of the projector lots of times. So I'm going to try to accomplish that.
I believe that.
How many of you are Spanish Fork city residents? Okay, we've got a few. This will still be great information. But maybe for those four that raised their hands, how, and maybe you think of the cities you live in, how do you contact your cities? Do you? Email? Do you call someone specific, call someone in general, or just call a general number?
We go on the website and see who I want. We text back and forth.
Some text, yeah. Okay, perfect. And how does the city contact you? Okay, newsletter, email, yeah, through our Everbridge system. And maybe some phone calls. Okay, perfect. So my role as the public information officer, I'm almost 2 years here in Spanish Fork. It is to be over all of that communication and make it easy for residents to communicate with the city, and then all the things that we do to send information out. So I wanted to share with you some of the things we do in Spanish Fork City, and then a couple of, I think, exciting updates that I think you'll enjoy at the end. So this was mentioned, Text the City. So about 6 months ago, we launched this feature through a company called Podium, where you can text Spanish Fork City. We have 6 different departments that you can text directly: our utility department, Parks and Rec, Public Works, SFCN, Community Development, and the library. So we respond during business hours, but you can text at any hour, and then you'll get a response. We try to do it within 5 minutes. Sometimes we can't get that, depending on meetings and staffing levels and things. But we really have tried to open this new way of communication up to residents. So if you go to our website, and in the bottom right corner of our website is actually my picture right now. I might change that at some point. If you start a message there, you'll get an automatic response that says, "Thanks for texting Spanish Fork City." That's the only automatic response you're going to get. The next answer will be from a person. So, and then your conversation is through text. If you start it on the computer, it'll transfer that conversation right to your phone, and we'll have a text conversation. So the only automatic response is that first one if you start from the website saying, "We got your message. Thanks for reaching out." So part of my role is I do all of the media relations That doesn't mean I'm always the one in front of the camera, but I usually get to pick who gets to be in front of the camera. So sometimes the mayor is a better face for whatever particular issue. Sometimes it's someone in the field. But it's a really fun part of my job, is to work with reporters, to send press releases, and really share the good things we have in Spanish Fork, and get them in right when we have things that happen, like airplanes landing on buildings. I get to be a part of that and help the news reach out to us when things like that happens. So this graphic is, last year we did some water conservation education. We didn't do any water restrictions in Spanish Fork. What we had decided to do was just share the need to conserve, the want to conserve, and through that we saved over 265 million gallons of water. And that's with the growth that we've had, which all of you have seen the growth that's happening right now. So using social media is a big avenue of how we both communicate and get feedback. I try to respond to every Facebook message question that comes in. And so we try to have one voice. I love the rules, the test. And the first question, is it truth? And I really try to just put out the truth, the facts, and we've gotten verified on all of our social media accounts so that people can know this is a trusted source for information. Many have mentioned the newsletter, so I get to work on the newsletter each month, which is usually a stressful 2 days after everyone says what information they want in there and trying to figure out where it goes and making sure it's all spelled right. And I get to work, we have some fantastic management interns that I work with on this project. But the newsletter is a big way that we communicate out what's going on in the city. And it surprised me, when I got here almost 2 years ago, I thought, well, can we just go digital? Isn't that the future? Let's do a digital newsletter and not waste the paper and send out the bills and the information. So I did a survey, which is the other part of my role. I'm the management analyst. So I put out a survey. Some of you may have taken it. It was on city communications. How do you receive information? How do you want to receive information? And most people said they get their information from the newsletter that's mailed to their house with the utility bill, and that's how they wanted to receive information. So we're not going all digital. There's a digital option. You can find it on the website as well, but we'll continue to mail that paper newsletter because that's how people want to get information. So we try to solicit from our different departments, what do you want to share, what events do you have going on, but what kind of education do you want to do? We put things in there about fire safety and changing your smoke alarms, and a lot with public safety and emergency preparedness. When the airport has their big annual Wings and Wheels event, those kind of things go in here as well. So the newsletter is a big way that we communicate and push information out. The other thing is our website, SpanishFork.org. We try to keep that current with news updates and news stories, but also easy to navigate. I know there are some pages that aren't there yet, but we're working on making more and more pages easy to get the information that you want. So this is a recent redesign of our government page, where there's a quick links to a city administration, but also to the code, the budget, elections information, the contact information for elected officials, and then ways that people can get involved, because there's a lot more to the city or to a city than the city council. There's the planning commission that helps with zoning things. We have a development review committee, which is staff members that review all of the applications for development. But we also have a board for our Parks and Rec. There's a library board. There's a senior citizen board. So there are a lot more ways to get involved than just running for office. I think we talked about that a little bit over here, that people will talk about running for office, but there's ways to get involved first through different boards and commissions. All of our Fiesta Days events are planned with a couple staff members, a city council representative, and then 6 members of the community that help plan and run all of those events. one thing, so in July, as staff, we thought a couple of ways to get residents involved and to really try to educate. We do all these other things, but we wanted a way to get people to see kind of the broad scope of what local government is. So we started Spanish Fork University 101 was the first class. Maybe there will be others, but this 101 class is a 10-week course on Wednesday nights, and we had last fall a group of 15 that did this course, and tomorrow night's the second week of our second class, and we have a group of 18. And they go through and meet with each department for 10 weeks, different departments, and really get an understanding of what they do, how they operate. So when they go over to SFCN for the night, they spend time in our studio with Pete and SF17, and they spend some time splicing fiber together within our Fiber to the Home project and understanding what we're doing to serve Spanish Fork residents high-speed internet, which is better than any other internet you could get here. So I just wanted to share these pictures. This is our first graduating class. We had members of the Planning Commission, some that were running for City Council at the time, and this group then becomes a great group that has a basic understanding. And so I presented this class to the mayor and said, Mayor, this is a great group of people that have a basic understanding of what the city is, and they would be great to appoint to various boards and commissions. And so, there's a planning commissioner. Kevin Euler was elected to the city council, and then in the middle in the white shirt, that's Angie Gorell, and she was appointed to the library board. And I like to credit this class with the ability that she had to be on there. So this was last week. Our next class, they did a mock city council meeting. They went up and rang the bell and really got a hoot of that. We have our bell on the top of the city office building. So we really tried to create different ways to learn about the city. You can go scour the website, you can follow us on social media, and you'll get some learning there. And this is just another avenue of how to really get involved deeply in what local government is. So I think that's most of really what I do in a nutshell. It's different every day, and that's why I love it. A lot with social media. If you follow us on Instagram, we do a lot of highlights with different divisions, and so you get to see inside of, you see the node cabinets that sit on the next to the road, and we were able to get inside that, so you see, how the internet comes to one neighborhood and then gets sent out to homes. Or got to ride around with our ambulance crew for a day and spend a day with the building inspector. So really try to give people a view of local government so they understand what we do, because it's a lot more than have buildings and take tax money, but it's providing services to residents. Question?
How does someone get in there?
Great question. We will open applications up. Again, the question was, how do we get involved in Spanish Fork University? So after our spring class, as staff, we're going to do kind of a hot wash and say, how did it go? We've done spring, we've done fall. Are we able to do that, going forward, to have 2 courses a year, or do we need to get to 1? Once we have that discussion, hey, we can do 2 a year. Hey, we'll just do it in the fall. We will open up applications again. We'll put it on social media, on our website, and I'll try to get it in the newsletter too, so that everyone knows that there's a chance to sign up for this course. So that's a great question. So I just want to share a couple of happenings. Something that happened just this morning at Library Hall. We placed, they call it a topping out ceremony. So it was the top of the steel structure that was placed today. So there are still some that will be placed, but this was a corner piece in the northwest corner that they painted white. Staff got to sign the beam, and they placed it right in the corner there. So this ceremony, gone on for years as part of the builders' kind of rights and and they made it into a little ceremony. And from what I understand, the reason they put a tree there is a Scandinavian tradition that because trees were removed to build a building, this is kind of a token to send appreciation for the trees and kind of a symbolic of the tree sacrifices to erect a new building. So it was a fun thing to be a part of this morning. And then they poured cement on the library side of the second floor this morning as well, and are working on flattening that out. So these are fresh photos from this morning on the progress of Library Hall, and they are still anticipating a summer opening next year in 2023. So just one more really fun and special thing that I wanted to share with you is coming in July, we will have our own version, a Spanish Fork City version of the Dowdle puzzle. So I can't show you this. I have a sketch that I'm not allowed to share, but the artwork is being finalized, so we should have pictures in the next month or so, and then they're going to order these puzzles. So we'll have these for sale at Fiesta Days, and it's really, really exciting. I believe there'll be $25. And there's a committee that we formed that's kind of over all things puzzle. I think we're going to do if you buy four, you'll get one free. So you can get 5 for $100 instead of $125. So, because we know a lot of people are going to get them as gifts and get them out. So we're still working on finalizing all of that, but we may be handing out puzzle pieces in the parade this year and encourage people to come and purchase these. So,
how many communities has he done that for?
So in Utah, he did this Pleasant Grove Days most recently. Orem did a centennial or bicentennial before, and I don't know of any others that the city has been a part of. So he may have done more. These were the recent ones he shared as Pleasant Grove and Orem. So it was kind of a fun thing. We commissioned the piece. So it's an art piece that we'll get, and then they turn that art into the puzzle, and then the proceeds of the puzzle pay for the art. And so the original art piece is going to be, I can't remember the dimensions. It's pretty small. I don't know exactly where that will go, but I believe we're going to get a big print and put that in Library Hall of that as well. So we'll find a prominent place to put it up. So this is something that I'm really excited about. It's been fun to be a part of this and see it come to fruition. So that's all my prepared remarks. But what questions do you have about baseball? I mean, Spanish Fork City.
Those are one the same, aren't they?
They are.
What about our swimming pool? Where's that going to be?
So they're working on the location. Question about the swimming pool, and as soon as there's a location, we'll get that information out there.
So to that point, I saw Mike's announcement, but I'm trying to understand if that was we're moving forward on planning so that we can then put it to a vote. It made it almost sound like we're doing this regardless of what the citizens want.
We're not going to vote.
So my understanding is there's multiple funding sources. So part of it will be property tax, but it's not going to be a general obligation bond, which is what merits the vote. They're figuring out what amenities are going to go in it, then they'll start the design process. But the announcement was, this is the road we're headed on, and there's a lot of things that we don't know and that we'll get better clarification of as we go forward. Mayor did an interview with the Daily Herald last week, and that article has a little bit more color to the video announcement. So I'd recommend you look at that. But all the elected officials are happy to answer questions. At this point, I don't have much else to offer. But as soon as we get concepts and designs, we'll get them on our website. We don't have a web page yet for it, but we'll get there. It'll be a road of figuring things out and how it'll all come together. Well, thank you. It's great to be with you and know of your goodness and the things that you do for our community. So thanks for letting me be a part of this.